And that's what Johesu is saying here. Johesu, that's the workers' union, health
Yeah,
workers'
joint
union.
health sector unions.
Yes,
Yeah.
look, they say that the available doses are not sufficient, and that barring the workers is insensitive. You know, Akitayo, who is the spokesperson of JS, said that the doses of the vaccine available in the country were not enough. He therefore wondered why government was making the vaccination compulsory. This is what he says. Nigeria claims to have a population of almost 200 million people. To the best of my knowledge, and he should know, to the best of my knowledge, the government has not made 10 million doses available as of today. Okay, how then is it even possible to compel people to go for compulsory vaccination when the government was there to make available the requisite doses Nigerians will take? If you have not made provisions, you can't go ahead and begin to compel people to be vaccinated compulsorily. Maybe what they will do, but these things always need clarification so that we don't look stupid in the eyes of the world, because it doesn't add up here. Maybe what is going to happen is there's going to be mass vaccination of civil servants, take it to them in the office, and get the job done.
Right.
But you wait until that happens before you issue the directive. What they are going to get now is they are going to get a stampede. People will start working on fake documents to produce, as civil servants, and so on and so forth. So, well, I hope it gets well reasoned out. And it says also that the government has lifted the ban on South Africa, Turkey, and Brazil. That's for travelers to know.
Right. Let's drop the points. Let's go to the Vanguard. Page 22 of the Vanguard has a story here that says, change in 2023, challenge before youths, women and elites.
This madam wrote an article. Her name is Adiola Aziz. Adiola Aziz is the wife of Biodun Aziz, who the last time I checked is a journalist like me, but also works, I think, in Globacom. And she's also the daughter of Chief Ayo Adebanjo. I don't know if she likes that referral, but it's part of the baggage you carry when you have a famous father. You can't run away from it.
You can't.
I had a friend who married a very famous woman. And one of the things that led to their divorce was that he was always referred to as the husband of so and so. And that got him very irritated. He is an egocentric person, so it got him every time, even in public, when we want to introduce on the high table, so and so, the husband.
Mr. Jimi Disu, the husband of
who? The husband of who now, completely. Anyway, don't let me lose track. Now, Adiola Aziz is a member of the board of trustees of WIMBIS. You know WIMBIS, the Women
in Business,
in which I've made myself an honorary member. Not that I don't have to do sex change to do that, but I believe so much in what they're doing in WIMBIS. But don't let me run a commercial on them. But I saw an article that she wrote in the Tribune, and I had marked it for review on that day, but we couldn't get to it. So today, in the Vanguard, she has an interview coming up, and it's mainly about challenge before the youths, women, and the elites in the polity. She talks about how, for example, on the day of election, I found this very funny. She says, I left my house armed with my voter's card, the local government elections, my breakfast of hot pap and moi moi, my laptop, iPad, and power bank, ready for a long day. I was committed to casting my vote in the Lagos State local government elections. And but unfortunately, when she got there, practically nobody really. And she said, so she picked up her phone and started calling the women, challenging them about their commitment. My issue was not for who they would vote for, but instead their disengagement with the electoral process. A lot of us have been disengaged with the electoral practice in this country. We always say, the phrase that always infuriates me is that says that, if they will allow, who are the they you are referring to? The power lies with you. The power lies with you. So she's talking about the disconnect with the elite, and she says that she's asked this question, the disconnect of the elite with the polity, and she says, at this point, would you like to say to Nigerians what would you like to say to the elite? And this is where I'm coming, and I want all of you at home or wherever you are to listen to this. Listen to this, especially the elite. It says, to our detriment, we have chosen to ignore the enormity of the power of the office of the citizen. But I must remind you that we wield so much power. We must be intentional about the future we want. A collective future is at stake. And she says, my request of the elite is to leverage their experience and influence to drive transformational change. We need an elite consensus devoid of tribal and religious differences. Money or influence cannot shield any of us from the effects of weak leadership and poor governance. And we've seen that happen at federal and at state level. We've seen how we've virtually been bound to the Philistines. I don't want to add the last phrase to it, but let's just leave it at that. And she says that policies made when you are absent will affect and impact your family, your business, and your life.
That's right.
That is why all of us are suffering today. Because we refuse to take part. We refuse to be part of the process. Leave it for them. Let it's for those scallywags and whatever. Then they put one of their kind gets in power, and this is what you get. This is what you get. You ask yourself, if the elite had been fully involved in politics, would you, for example, be voting for somebody whose name, age, origins you cannot determine? It's not going to happen. But all of you went away. You don't know his name, you don't know his age, you don't know nothing, you don't know his educational background, full of controversies. Would that kind of person, if all of us had gotten involved, would that kind of person have passed through the eye of the needle? Of course not. But we all sat back and then see what we got. Okay? Now it says that, she now says that there is no reason why captains of industry and visionary leaders with proven track records should not run for office. Okay? We cannot continue to hide behind the age-long take of politics being dirty. If you consider the process that brings leadership to your country being dirty, then you are ready to roll in the dirt. Because if you consider it dirty, then you know that the leadership that you will get will be dirty.
And it is even then that you must be prepared to sanitize it by getting involved.
Exactly. You can see how we got to where we are. I'm going to bring this lady to the studio. Whether she I'll drag her down. If I call her and she doesn't come, I'll hypnotize her or take something out of my pocket. I'm not happy. I said there's no reason why captains of industry and visionary leaders will prove that to not run for office. We cannot. It has remained dirty because only a handful of good people dare to run. If we are to have a new Nigeria, we must all play our part by getting involved. Register to vote. Vote, vote, vote. Better still, run for office. And she quotes as she says, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can, start today. Then something promising shows up in her interview. I'll be done. Just 1 second. She's asked, what about the youth? She says, I am proud. She's addressing the youth now. That includes you sitting down looking at me. She says, and those of you at home, she says, I am proud of your preparedness for the 2023 elections. A staggering 71%
That's right.
of newly registered voters are youth. She has made my day. She has made my day. And I'm also aware that many of you do not feel valued as citizens. You have been victims of a country that seems not to care about its most vital assets and so on and so forth. What you need to do to punish us, our own generation that have failed you, is to go out there and vote. It's not by rioting, it's not by demonstrating and beating off everybody in sight. Go out there and vote us out. All these old babas, 70, 60, some of them whose ages you don't even know. Because it's only in Nigeria that you can find a 69-year-old man giving birth to a child who is almost 59. Did he have the baby child when he was at 10? Vote these people out. Vote these people out.
Right.
Have zero tolerance for such people. And let's all move forward. It's in your hands, though.
You know, everything you have said and everything the lady said in that interview, when you had Banky W in here, he said everything.
He said everything. And I'm bringing Adela Aziz. I'm going to bring her in. And people of like minds. This movement must not stop. If we're going to get out of the rut that we are in, this movement must not stop. All of us have to get involved.
Right. We're going to take another story from Vanguard here. Page what's page 21. It says why Nigeria must abolish death penalty. SAN CSOs.
Yeah, we don't seem to have made up our minds on what we want to do about the death penalty. I don't remember the last time anybody was hanged or shot. We need to take a firm decision. If we're going to have a death penalty, let's have it. The majority, of course, will have their way. But if we are not going to have the death penalty, then let's clear because what you find is the condemned cells are filled to the brim.
Yeah,
there was a governor once who said he couldn't sign the death penalty because he was Catholic. I don't understand that. We must, at all times, anybody who wants to take up public office must be ready to do what the office dictates. And maybe if, for example, what we should say is that if you are going to have a death penalty, between the time of sentence and execution, you must give a fixed time to say that, look, 6 months after, if you are not going to kill,
must be done.
It must be done, or else you let the man go. We must put that in our laws. In any case, we must make up our mind. Personally, I don't support the death penalty for just one reason. There have been very few cases where you have ended up shooting the wrong person. Worldwide, it's not just here.
Yeah.
Where you've killed somebody because of a crime, the circumstantial evidence has practically sentenced the guy to the aftermath, only for somebody else to confess maybe 10 years later and say, oh, that crime, you killed them, so and so forth. You can say, I'm not pointing at you.
Yeah.
I'm pointing in the air.
Exactly.
That crime. So
that other side.
But you don't point at me.
No, sorry. I'm pointing at where you're pointing at.
Okay, so what do we have here now? We have various views. Let me just read one or two.
Okay.
Candy Johnson, my good party man, SAN, he says that many are victims of a weak justice system. Former Solicitor General, Mr. Pedro, believes that the death penalty has outlived its purpose. Professor Erugo, SAN, believes that death penalty retention is retrogressive. Fashanu, I haven't seen him for ages. Fashanu, SAN, Babatunde Fashanu, says that poor investigation process makes death penalty abolition inevitable. Aliu, SAN, Yomi Aliu, says that only serial killers should be hanged. That's what he says. Death penalty has no effect, says Obiago, SAN, Chino Obiago. And Ledap and Horilo says that government should place moratorium on execution. So what do we have? The judgment we have here by all those is that the death penalty should be abolished. Yes, it should be abolished. Have you been to where people are being hanged?
No.
I did. I visited it in 1971 when they closed the Broad Street prison.
What did you see?
What they did was the government then opened it up to the public. That's where I saw the gallows. And you can imagine from 1971 till now, I still freeze when I think about what I saw.
Okay.
I think it's still there. I wish I could put a call through to Theo Lawson and ask if the gallows have been retained at Freedom Park. But that's where I saw the gallows. It's a very frightening thing. You want me to describe what?
No, please, like? No, don't.
Okay,
don't, please.
Let's move on to it. I just wanted you to.
Even this one itself is scary.
But let me explain.
The hint alone, don't explain. Thank you. Thank you. Let's just move on. She couldn't handle it. She's almost running out of the studio.
I'm sure some people have turned off their
No, we don't want to hear.
But you see what these things do. This is why some of us can never find ourselves, committing a crime as such. These are the things as young people that were put in place. Tradition, these were the things that were put in place to remind us that crime does not pay. That is how you develop your youth, by education, exposure, okay, and the sense of history. In those days, you find some old boys would stop by at the Methodist Boys High School, maybe during your inter-house sports or whatever, and these people inspired you. I remember of blessed memory, Admiral Way, for example, when we were doing cross-country, Admiral Way will pack, this so-called VIP escort, he was vice president then, he will pack and encourage the boys, keep running. These were the little things.
Wow.
All that has disappeared. Now, the only example we give to our youth today is bad behavior. Now that we've produced a high concentration of badly behaved whatever, we keep blaming them. But we trained them. We neglected them.
Yeah.
This thing is gradually becoming a pulpit. At this age, maybe I should open a church.
I think so.
Who will collect the money?
Me now.
Who
Who
else? Your name is Sheriff. You can't collect.
I will do it.
We will change
It's job. You employ me.
No, we will change your name.
No.
From Sheriff, you cannot be Sheriff.
No, but what do you mean?
We will.
We have men of God who still bear. We have men of God who still bear Muslim names now.
Yes, but in this case, we don't want Afedomoko Mercy. We will change your name from Sheriff to Athanasius.
What is that?
So from today, you are no longer Kekere or this. Your name is Athanasius.
Is that the best you can come up with?
That's the best.
No way. You did not say that.
Athanasius, please read on.
That's not me. That's really not me. Let's go to page 11 of the Punch newspaper. Now, this story here says Igboho developed kidney problem in Benin prison. That's according to the lawyer.
This is very worrying. I'm worried about the health of this gentleman, and I'm also worried about the implications should this go south, like they say. Should it get worse? I hope not. What will help us? Okay, so he's in Benin Republic, but he's a Nigerian citizen. My suggestion to the federal government very quickly is that don't say because he's in Benin Republic is no responsibility of yours. He's a high-profile Nigerian in Benin prison. Whatever you might think of it, until found guilty or whatever you think it is, he's a high-profile Nigerian. The implication of his health is the implication to us is well known. I don't need to go into that. My suggestion very quickly: Nigerians should immediately. The government should contact his family, his family doctor if he has any, and immediately head to Benin Republic to see how he can keep this man healthy. Nothing must happen to him. I'm not issuing a threat. I'm just analyzing that anything happening to him is unthinkable at this point in time. And what would help with his lawyer, get to his next of kin, his wife and whatever, with his doctor and with the supervision of the federal government, all the might of federal government, go and make sure that this man stays healthy. It is very, very important. I think I'm even wasting my time. I would assume that this would have happened anyway. But just for the record, let's say that this is what should happen. Okay, I wish him well. Despite the circumstances where he finds himself, I wish him well, and and I do hope he'll be able to overcome. Now remember that the kidney, any health problem you have that involves the kidneys, is you cannot just contemplate. It includes dialysis, this and that, and so on and so forth.
Quite a lot.
And it is life-threatening. So please, let us treat this with the seriousness that it deserves. And if possible, if you can quickly work a political situation to get out of this mess and logjam that we have in his own case, I think that might just be. You're going to end up with a political situation at some point anyway. Okay. Maybe we can fast track it. I wish him well wherever he is. I hope he overcomes this.
Let's move on to page 6 of the Punch. This story says citizens should have affordable housing, says Sanwo-Olu.
Yes. This is cheering news, and I'm not being sarcastic now. The government yesterday launched a 100-unit housing project, which was developed by the LSDPC. And I wish that more of this would come up, but at least for what we have now, they say have bread better than none. We need to commend them for this. And this kind of initiative we would like. But we can do better. But what touched my heart yesterday, or this morning, reading this story, is that a section of the housing estate was named in honor of a gentleman called Wakilu Hamzat. It says Block C was named after him. Okay, apparently he died in the process whilst the construction was going on. He's an engineer. He died in the early hours of Wednesday, actually, before the inauguration, and is the staff of the LSDPC. And the governor quickly moved in and named
that Block C
after him. And he says that in honor of Wakili Hamzat, we named Block C after him. I enjoined our engineers to specially paint the block and we'll be able to acknowledge his great work. Wakilu was somebody I personally know. He will be greatly missed, but we thank God for his life. He has put in nothing less than 25 years in the service. And that's what the governor said. And I commend for that very quick initiative. These are the kind of things we need to do to encourage our people.
Yeah.
I'm glad it hasn't been named after one big politician or the other. In any case, the estate itself is named Bayview Estate. I mean, so that is good. These are the kind of things that we want to hear. So for today, I think the governor and I, we can both enjoy our breakfast this morning.
Yeah, I think so
He will
too.
enjoy his and I'll enjoy mine.
Yeah, I think so too.
If I can
Is there a
afford it.
possibility of you guys having breakfast together? Just
Why
chat.
not?
Just chat. you
Why
know.
not? I'm surprised that invitation hasn't come.
Okay, Mr. Gwenga, Shebi, you are listening, eh?
I leave Gwenga alone.
And Mr. Gwenga is
he has just done me a big favor.
Bengus.
Just leave me alone. Don't spoil it. But you mentioned something, and it's good that we clarify these things.
Yeah.
We are not against any government. We are not in competition
Not at all.
with government. After all, I'm not contesting for anything. And Jide Sanwo-Olu, I personally like. Two people that are closely linked to him are closely linked to me. One of them I speak to 5, 6, 7 times a day. They're first cousins. So it's not a personal issue. But we want this state to be well led.
Public
The other
interest.
day, on Monday, I was coming from Surulere to Lagos.
Yeah. To VI,
To VI. What I saw on Eko Bridge, I couldn't imagine. Even without a ban on Okada,
Yeah.
the bikes shouldn't have been that much. They were not like bees, they were like flies on a dead corpse. We couldn't move. And I said to myself, but we have laws against it. If you have put in place a law and it's not workable, then take the law out and stop the embarrassment. Let it be free for all. So my quarrel with Lagos State government mainly, apart from the politics of the APC, my problem with Lagos State mainly is enforcing the laws that you yourselves have put in place.
That's right.
It's as simple as that. So it's nothing.
It's not personal.
It's not personal.
But it
And
is personal.
It's not personal.
Is this personal?
Why is it personal?
Security is personal.
Yeah. Okay.
Now let's move on.
Security, you think I won't want to eat there? Don't worry. I have some. I have a tester in my pocket.
A tester.
Before I eat anything, I take a call. No.
This pocket is dry.
So
There's
just the
nothing
left, is it
inside.
the right?
Yeah, it's close to me. This is what I'm seeing now. There's nothing there.
Athanasius, please, let us move to the next.
See, people are arguing over the name already.
Yeah, what are they saying? No, this one knocks out Dimeji and Kekere. Yeah, now his name is
People
now.
should not listen to
Let me
the
lay-
name
let me
of-
lay my
there's-
hands.
There's nothing like that. Oh.
Let me lay my hands on you.
See, they're
I
telling me
name
Athanasius, good morning.
And if you
Oh boy. Let's take this story. We're out of time, but just to mention it, Mohalu announces 6-party planned merger hails transmission of results.
Yes, Kingsley Mohalo is somebody that I like us to keep our eyes on, because one thing that his candidacy does, if he does run, is that it settles part of the Southeast question, quest for power, and it also now we have a technocrat. The only problem I have with him is that I hope he will realize that politics is not an elitist enterprise. You're talking of numbers, and the elite are not in the majority here. This is not the United States. This is Nigeria.
Yeah.
So I hope he will recognize that. I would love, at the very least, I want to see a president on any international podium who is making a lot of sense and is exciting and bringing a spark in me to say that, if that's the only thing I can get in 2023, I'll be happy. Because I've been denied that after Gawan. I've been denied that. I grew up looking at Zik. There was a time we used to look at Zik as if you in those days there wasn't much telly and so on and so forth. But people would say, look, see Zik mouth. It'd be like saying that God put something for him mouth when they talk like that. We were inspired. Go to YouTube, Tafa Balewa, Awolowo, Zik. Even the Saldana.
I've seen South Africa's videos. I remember
after,
that week. I kept watching
after,
and watching.
After
and watching.
Gawan, I saw after Gawan.
That's our show this morning, Lagos. We must go now. Thank you for coming, Jimmy.
Yes.
We must go now. Daily Digest is next at 9. Okay, stay tuned. What's going on at 9?
We have Kari Sama.
Okay.
Yes, we just discuss. In fact, we'll pick a lot of things from
From
here.
there.
Kade Samali
Okay.
is very versatile. He used to be in the editorial board of the Vanguard and has had some experience in politics because he was chief of staff to Governor Gbenga Daniel
Oh, fantastic.
way back then.
Fantastic.
So just have a discussion for 1 hour on the leadership question.
All right. We must go now, Lagos. Thank you for joining us. I'm Sheriff Quadry. He's Jimi Disu. Morning to you.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.